Yeah. Good looking out there. Yeah. Ha, it's Flav, you heard? It's Flav. Check it, I had to get what I earned. It's my turn. Welcome to the show. It's Trenton's Tavern. Yeah. Ha, that's how we doing it. Welcome to the show, y'all. Enjoy. What's really good? I'm back with another video, man. I'm back with another video. I told y'all I'm gonna be back. I'm gonna keep coming. You know what? I'm just gonna stop saying it, because obviously y'all gotta be used to me now. You know what I mean? But if you're not, welcome to my show, man. If this is the first time you hear, if it's the last time you hear, whatever it is, I love you all. It doesn't really matter. I'm back with another video. Thank you guys so much for all of the support this far. You know already what I gotta do. Thank you so much. Thank you for all of the support, man. Everything, all of the comments, all of the likes, all of the ideas, all of the special guests, which I'm getting more ready to be on here soon, you know what I mean? And I want to give a shout out before I go any further to my man Uzziah and his girl, Yuri. And I want to say congratulations. They had a healthy baby boy last, I want to say Saturday. I think Saturday he texted me and told me he was here. So congratulations to you guys. I haven't seen him yet, but I will be seeing him really soon. Congratulations, man. Now your life starts. We talked about this and you already know the deal. But congratulations to Uzziah. And once again, I want to thank everybody for subscribing to my channel and getting me 100 subscribers, yo. Actually, I have 121 already. My goal for the end of the month is to have 150. So I'm about 30 subscribers away from my goal for November. And then when December come, I'm gonna try to get 50 more. And I'm gonna try to have 200 subscribers by the end of by around Christmas time. So going into the New Year's, I'll have 200 subscribers. And then you already know what it is. I'm gonna try to gain 50 subscribers per month. And if I do that, I feel like it's a success. You know what I mean? I already got 121. So I don't see why I can't get more. You know what I mean? So thank you guys so much for all of the support thus far. I really appreciate everything. You know what I mean? I appreciate you guys listening to me talk, because I just be wanting to talk, and this is why I'm doing this. You know what I mean? I just be wanting to talk. But getting right into the show, I'm gonna call this episode number 10. This is gonna be called Slow Down. And this is the topic of the day. This is gonna be called Slow Down. So let's just get into it right off rip, right? So everybody knows the saying that time waits for no man, right? No matter which religion or whatever you are, everybody knows the saying that time waits for no man. So the reason that time was put into place for human beings is for structure. You know what I mean? If you know anything about the Bible, they say God is time. You know what I mean? That's why he never shows up late. He never shows up early. He always shows up on time. It's because our time isn't his time. He put time on the earth for us for structure, because if we didn't have time, there would be no structure. Just imagine how chaotic the world would be without any type of time in the world. We wouldn't know nothing. We wouldn't know day from night. We wouldn't know what date it is. We wouldn't know, you know what I mean, how old we are. We wouldn't know anything. You know what I mean? So time was put into place for man to just to have structure, right? So as a kid, right, just think about it like this. As a kid, when you were a kid and you was in grade school and middle school and even high school, you know what I mean? Like me personally, I didn't worry about time, not even a little bit. I never worried about time. I know me and my brother, when we used to live in New York, we stayed in a little city called Liverpool, which was like, it wasn't a suburban area of Syracuse, but kind of suburban. Like it was nice neighborhoods with nice schools, and my mom didn't care if we was out doing whatever, you know what I mean? Like we were just out being kids, having fun, whatever. So as a kid, I know me and Eric used to go out. We used to go out, especially during the summer, probably at 11 o'clock in the morning, and we wouldn't come back till 9 or 10 when the lights came on. If it was the summer and we called my mom to ask if we could stay over at a friend's house, we would be gone all day. You know what I mean? No clothes, no nothing. We just go home in the morning. Like that's just how we rocked as kids. You know what I mean? Like it just depends on what the situation was. I got old pictures of me where I was really black, like charcoal black, because me and my friends used to wait by the pool till the pool opened. So the time that the pool opened until the time that it closed, you know what I mean? We was in there and I was just getting baked by the sun, which I didn't care at the time. But now looking back on these pictures, when you see these pictures, all you can see is my teeth because I was so black. But I didn't care about time. You know what I mean? I didn't care about the only time that I did worry about time is, again, like I said, when, you know, when it was time for us to head back home because the street lights was coming on, or when I had a project that needed to be done or something like that. But as far as having fun and my social life and stuff like that, I never ever cared about time, because a child doesn't understand what time is for. A child doesn't know how to use its time wisely. You know what I mean? I used to play the game. I used to get up in the morning and play the game all day. You know what I mean? Like there's just things as kids that I used to do that as I started getting older, I wish I could still do. But the older you get, you know what I mean? The more in your brain time becomes less and less and less. Because looking back from when I was like 10, 11, 12 or whatever, 24 hours seemed like a week to me, as to opposed to now when I'm 31, 24 hours seems like 15 hours. Like we always say as adults, like it's not enough time in a day, when in all actuality, time is the same thing. It's always been the same way. Time has never changed for anybody. It's just that the older you get, you take on more responsibilities, you know what I mean? And your time becomes more consumed with things. Some of the things you want to do, some of the things you don't want to do. But your time becomes so consumed with more stuff as an adult, because you take on more responsibility, like kids and jobs and you know, trying to make money and trying to do this, trying doctor's appointments and getting your hair cut, and it's just things that you're responsible for. You gotta cook. Like I hate cooking, but I've been cooking. You gotta clean your house. You gotta do laundry. Like it's just stuff that takes up your time. So it makes us feel like the 24 hours that used to be an eternity back in the day is now cut down, when that's not the truth. So the reason why I named this Slow Down is because I think it's up to us as adults to take the time to separate, categorize everything that's going on in our life, right? As far as work, as far as social life, as far as family, and so on and so forth. And what you do with that is whatever day by day, whatever category that you have to deal with for the day, you take that and you utilize your time, you know what I mean, and leave it at that. You know what I mean? So as far as work, because I know I work 4 10-hour days, four days a week, 10 hours a week. So that's 40 hours, of course. Most of us is working 40 hours a week. So with that 40 hours a week, and I'm not sure how many hours are in a week, but with that 40 hours a week, when you go to work, you focus on nothing but work. You know what I mean? You leave all of your outside problems and stuff like that outside. You don't deal with anything that you don't reminisce over anything that you cannot handle at the moment, and you just leave that outside. Those 40 hours are set aside for work. That's what that's for. And the same thing is vice versa when you go, when you leave work. Once you leave work, you don't think about nothing that has to do with work. Now comes your personal life, you know what I mean, and whatever's next. If it's family, from the time you leave home, you know what I mean, like, or from the time you get home till the next day when you have to go to work, you focus on nothing but your family. You know what I mean? You focus on nothing but your family. And in the meantime, if you have some in between time, like to play the game or sit down and watch football or whatever the case may be, because the kids are in the bed, wifey in the bed, or whatever you're doing, or y'all spending time, whatever the case may be, take life moment by moment. You know what I mean? Instead of thinking 10 months ahead, 3 months ahead, 2 weeks ahead, you know what I mean? A day ahead. You just take every little moment and you make it special to you. You know what I mean? You slow down the time and you do nothing but focus on that. And the reason I'm saying that is because over the past few years, I haven't really been like, from September to January is my favorite time of the year, because September comes back, football's back. Everybody knows me knows I am in love with football. Then you got the holidays, which is Thanksgiving, Christmas, and Halloween. And I'm not so much big on like dressing up and stuff for Halloween anymore, but I love the atmosphere and I love the scary movie, you know what I mean, feeling, because it's something that I've always done as a kid. And I know that's why I still love it, because even when you grow up and you begin to take on these you begin to take on these responsibilities, you should still have some type of kid in you. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter how old you get, you should still have some type of memory or something, tradition that you want to live on in your family, and have some type of kid in you, because it keeps you young at heart. You know what I mean? So I know when Halloween comes around, if I'm not getting dressed and going to a Halloween party or something, I just love to sit in the house and watch scary movies. And then, as you know, Thanksgiving is in November, and then Christmas is in December, and then you got New Year's. And those times used to be so special to me as a kid, because I didn't have anything to worry about. I couldn't wait to go trick-or-treating for Halloween. I couldn't wait to see my family that I hadn't seen in a while for Thanksgiving as a kid. And then, of course, for Christmas, I started making my Christmas list on December 1st, maybe before that. And me and my brother, we used to sit down and, me and my brothers and my sister, we used to sit down and make our Christmas list together. And you know what I mean? Like, we couldn't even sleep on Christmas Eve because we was so excited about what was happening. Like, my mom would tell us to go to bed while they was wrapping gifts. We would sneak downstairs and listen on the door and then try to run back upstairs and stuff. And when they put the gifts out, we would wait till they fall asleep and go downstairs and try to like shake it and stuff. I know most kids did that. You know what I mean? And that feeling hadn't been there for me for the last few years. That feeling hadn't been there for me for the last few years. And I didn't know why. I didn't understand why, because it was kind of making me feel some type of way, because I want that to be a part of my legacy with my kids. You know what I mean? Traditions for holidays, for though at least those 3 holidays, we have to have some type of traditions that, live on after I'm gone. You know what I mean? That they can do with their family. And these are just the things that happen as time goes on. You know what I mean? But I've realized that the reason why I haven't been feeling the way that I feel, because I feel so rushed for everything. You know what I mean? Like, this year for Halloween, I damn near watched a Halloween movie, probably 3 to 4 Halloween movies a week. You know what I mean? Like, and I was loving it. I felt great. Even though I didn't get to go out because I was working, I didn't dress up or go to no parties or nothing, but I felt great. You know what I mean? It felt like me being a kid again. Because I said to myself, I'm like, this is one of my favorite holidays. I'm gonna celebrate it. You know what I mean? I'm gonna do what I used to do as a kid. So boom, I did that for Thanksgiving. Last year I cooked. You know what I mean? Like, because it's just another thing is your family or people around you begin to take on different responsibilities too. So Thanksgiving ain't always what it should be. You know what I mean? But I said, my mom is getting older. Not that she's in any danger of passing away or anything, but she's getting older. I'm sure she's going to want somebody to start cooking and stuff. So I'm practicing right now. And I must say, last year, my Thanksgiving dinner was not that bad. But I'm doing Thanksgiving dinner again this year. You know what I mean? I'm doing my own Thanksgiving dinner again. And it makes me feel again, because I've never got to do this, but it makes me feel really good, like I'm celebrating one of my favorite holidays. You know what I mean? Like I'm starting a tradition that I can now begin to bring it, like give to my kids once they start to get older. And then for Christmas, you know what I mean, me and my family, I'm sure, going to get together. But if we don't, I'm decorating my house. I'm putting my own Christmas tree up. You know what I mean? Like I may buy me some presents and put my own gifts under the tree and open my own gifts. You know what I mean? Like just because, you know what I mean? Just to get back in that spirit, because I'm learning how to slow time down, and I'm learning how to make time for what I want. You know what I mean? Because if you ask anybody, if you talk to anybody, they're gonna tell you, you know, people make time for what they want. You know what I mean? So I'm learning how to do that with the little things. So when it comes to the bigger things, there will be no issue with me slowing time down and focusing on that one thing. Like when I come from work, I don't worry about nothing. I don't even want to talk about work until I get back in there. It has nothing to do with me as long as I'm out of that building. I'm focusing on my social life. I'm focusing on my personal life. I'm focusing on just whatever it is. I'm taking it day by day and slowing time down in my mind. You know what I mean? To focus on that and only that. And it's made everything like clear. It's almost like you got you have a pile of like clothes, right? And you want to separate your whites, your colors, you want to separate your socks and your underwear and stuff like that. And once you've done that, you like, I feel, because I have a little case of OCD, so everything has to be a certain way with me. And once I start applying that to my life, it's like my life is becoming so much more organized. Like I know where to go for things. I know what I want to do here. You know, I'm planning things out. It's just a different feeling because I'm learning how to slow time down. I'm just learning how to slow time down in my mind. And the reason that I even had this idea is because I was watching this documentary on Mr. Rogers. And you know, the crazy thing about Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood is he did everything so slow. He walked down the stairs slow. He came in the door slow. He took his shoes off slow. He put his sweater on, you know what I mean? He read slow. He talked slow, you know what I mean? Even at the end of the show, when he was doing the little puppets, he had the traffic lights in the back, but it was always flashing yellow. And yellow means what? Caution, slow down. You know what I mean? And he was teaching people, no matter how old you get, that there's always time for the things that you want. Just slow down, take a step back, and observe what's going on in your life. You know what I mean? And things will become so much more easy, so much more calm. Your life begins to, like, you stop stressing over so much stuff. You just start looking at life in a different way if you start if you start to slow time down. You know what I mean? And just focus on whatever you can focus on at that moment. Stop trying to multitask everything and stop trying to do, you know, everything at one time. And just slow down a little bit. You know what I mean? Just slow down a little bit and everything will become so much clearer to you. I know when dealing with my fasting, when I go on my fast, it takes time, you know what I mean, for things to change sometimes. Like I want to see fast change, but most of the time, all of my change happens in the right moment. You know what I mean? It's teaching me patience. It's just a completely different outlook on life. You know what I mean? I don't feel so rushed when it comes to anything that has to do with my life anymore, which is the beautiful thing. You know what I mean? And I came up with a list of 5 things for each of these that benefit your life for going fast, or that going fast, that it you could get in some trouble about, or it might not benefit you the best way. And I came up with 5 things where going slow, you know what I mean, like how it could benefit you or keep you out of trouble. So the 5 things that I came up with, and this is just random stuff. It's a bunch of stuff, but this is just random stuff. Speeding on the freeway. Speeding, period, with a car or anything is dangerous. You can kill yourself, you can kill somebody else, you can get a ticket, you know what I mean? You can lose your license, you can lose your car. It's just nothing good with going fast at all on the freeway. It's not a good thing. I'm not sure about everybody, but most people gonna say going fast during sex, it's not a good look, man. You probably gonna catch a bad reputation. Your shorty or whoever you humping on is gonna be upset with you if you end in fast with sex, man. It's just, it's not a good look to go fast during sex. And thinking before you act or before you speak. When you in situations and you speak because you speak out of anger, or you speak without thinking, or you act out of anger, or you act without thinking about it, just your first reaction, 9 times out of 10 is gonna end pretty bad. You know what I mean? Like, it could be something permanent. It could be something that you could probably bounce back from, but it's probably gonna take a little while. Like, it's just not good to move like that. And like, the last thing is fast food, right? It's fast, it's convenient. They got stuff in it that makes us want to keep coming back to eat it, but it's so terrible for you. You know what I mean? Fast food will fatten you up. It'll clog your arteries. It's sometimes, most of the time, it's not done. You know what I mean? Like, fast food is horrible for you. You know, it's just nothing good about it. All types of steroids and antibiotics in it. It's killing people every day. Fast food is killing people every day, so it's not good. So those are just 5 random things that I thought, excuse me, those are 5 random things that I thought about that wouldn't benefit your life going fast. Now, for those same things, right? Going slow or doing the speed limit, you know, with anything, except for if you're in some type of race. You know what I mean? That's the only time going fast, or if that's the only time going fast benefits you, if you're in some type of race or something like that. But doing the speed limit saves lives. It stops you from getting tickets. Oh, I got a bump in my nose and it hurts. It stops you from getting tickets. And the speed limit is there again for structure. It's there to not to make you go slow, but it's there to keep everybody safe. And it's just one of those things that where you should probably follow the rules, because 9 times out of 10 you're gonna get in trouble if you get caught doing speeding or whatever, and you could kill somebody. Again, number 2, sex. I don't know about y'all, but I'm a passionate person. I'm more of a giver than I am a taker. So you have to slow down and take your time and get to know the person that they're giving, the person that you're involved with, because then you can make them feel wanted. You know what I mean? Like, if somebody is willing to have sex with you, they're trusting you with their body. You know what I mean? They're trusting you with their life for real, because you could, like, they're trusting you to, you could get somebody pregnant. You know what I mean? Like, you could have something. Condoms aren't 100% and they break. Somebody's trusting you with their life if they're willing to lay down and have sex with you. So why would you go fast with it? Why would you take advantage of this person? You know what I mean? It's just better to slow down and you know what I mean, show the person that you're doing this with what they're worth. You know what I mean? Thinking before you act. I mean, I can go on forever about that, because if you take a step back and think about, if you take a step back and think about what you do before you do it, or what you say before you say it, it's probably going to save friendships, relationships, arguments. It may even get you out of a life and death situation. You know what I mean? So you just want to slow it down, think about it, and then proceed. Now, I know that's not ideal for every single situation in life, but for the ones that you can control, I think it's best for you to slow down. The last one, cooking. I've realized in these past few weeks of cooking that if you just take your time and let stuff just cook when they're like how long they're supposed to, that the food is so much better. And I'm not just saying, because I like fast meals, like I like hamburgers and subs and salads and stuff like that, but I've been cooking like some meals that takes a little while, and it builds patience too, believe it or not. Like, cooks have to have a lot of patience, because if you don't, the food is gonna come out bad 100% of the time. You know what I mean? And this whole segment is just me rambling, and I was just like 3 or 5 things that I just thought that was fast, and if you did it fast, it would get you in trouble, or it would hinder you, as opposed to if you did it slow, the result would be different. That was the whole point in that segment. And like I said, it was just 5 random things, but there's a ton of more. There's a ton more of those things that I could have talked about. So in closing, I just want to say that, again, as long as you're alive, it's never too late to take on something new. One of the things that I did not like doing before is I didn't like reading. But over the last few months, I've started reading books. And I didn't like reading just for the simple fact of how long it took. You know what I mean? Not that I'm a slow reader or anything, but reading chapter after chapter after chapter, it was just a nuisance to me as a kid. So now that I'm older and I'm beginning to read, even if I'm listening to an audio book, you know what I mean? Like, reading has become one of my favorite hobbies. And I just like reading things now, like, because it not only teaches me patience, but it exercises my brain, because when I'm reading certain books, I have to have the dictionary on standby too, so I can understand what words mean that I don't know that they mean. And it's all beneficial to my life. You know what I mean? And I take a step back and I look at my life and I'm like, yo, what was I doing for all of these years? But now, like I said, that I've begun to slow my life down as much as possible. It's the most simplest things that were always there to my accessibility, to my access, that I can finally put these things. I'm finally taking time to do certain things, and my life just seems so much different, yo. It seems so much different. I feel so much more informed. It's just a great feeling, man, because I'm learning how to process my brain. I'm learning how to slow time down. And I'm telling you, for whoever's watching this, man, just take the time to slow down, make time for the things that's important, make time for the things that you want, and begin to control your mind. You know what I mean? Begin to take control over your life, and you'll see the outcome instantly. It'll be a fast turnaround, I promise you. And I'm working on it day by day, because I didn't get the way that I didn't get like that overnight. So it's not going to take me, I'm not going to be an overnight success when it comes to certain things as well. You know what I mean? So slow down the time, and you'll begin to see life in a different aspect, man. So that was the topic of the day. I hope that helps somebody. Hopefully it helps somebody, you know what I mean? All of these conversations, if one person remembers my conversation or takes heed to what I said, I feel like I was a success. You know what I mean? Like, I just want to help at least one person. So with that being said, you know what time it is. Oh yeah. Sports talk, baby. Sports talk. Let's go. All right. So, getting right into the sports talk. All right. Last week, I did good. I did really good. Last week in college, I went 12-2. I only got 2 games wrong. NFL, I went 8-5, and I can either go 9-5 or I can go 8-6. And the only reason I say that is because the Cowboys and the Giants are playing as I speak right now, because I'm recording on Monday. And I don't know who's going to win this game, but it doesn't matter. I still had a winning record for last week. Getting into this week, top 25 college. Let's go. So, number 25, Navy, bye week. Excuse me. Number 24, San Diego State versus Nevada. I don't know nothing about either one of these teams. I do know San Diego State has been in the top 25 once this season already. I'm giving it to San Diego State. Number 23, SMU versus East Carolina. SMU had a really bad game against Memphis. Not bad game, but they lost. So I think they bounce back this week and I'm giving that one to SMU. Number 22, Wake Forest versus Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech almost did me right last week, and they almost beat Notre Dame, but Notre Dame ended up coming back and winning a close one. So I'm giving it to Wake Forest because I don't have no faith in Virginia Tech. Okay, number 21, Boise versus Wyoming. Boise is getting that, yeah. Number 20, Kansas State versus Texas. I'm going with the upset on this one. I'm going with the Longhorns. I'm giving that one to Texas. Number 19, Memphis has a bye week. Number 18 versus number 16, Wisconsin. I don't know how Iowa is still ranked. That's crazy to me. I don't know how they're still ranked. That's wild. I thought they lost like 3 games, but I could be wrong. I'm giving that one to Wisconsin just off the strength of Jonathan Taylor. I seen what Michigan did to Iowa, and their offense couldn't do nothing against our defense. Wisconsin has a decent defense, and they also have Jonathan Taylor, so I'm giving that one to Wisconsin. Number 17, Cincinnati versus UConn. That game is up in the air, but I'm going to give it to Cincinnati. Number 15, Notre Dame versus Duke. I'm giving it to Notre Dame. They look really bad now. They almost lost to Virginia Tech, but they did not, so I'm giving it to Notre Dame. Number 14, Michigan. My boys got a bye week. It's a sad situation. Number 13, the game of the unbeatens, Minnesota versus number 5, Penn State. I'm going with Minnesota for the upset, man. Penn State have been squeaking wins out, but I'm going with Minnesota for the upset because Minnesota ain't on the East, and I need Penn State to get a L. So I'm going with Minnesota for the upset. Yeah, I think that's the primetime game too. Then we got number 12, Auburn has on a bye week. Then we have number 11, Baylor versus TCU. I'm giving it to Baylor, the Baylor Bears. Then you got number 10, Florida versus Vanderbilt. I'm giving it to Florida, the Gators. Vanderbilt is not that good. Florida is. Then you have number 9, Oklahoma versus Iowa State. Now, this is my big upset of the week because I'm giving it to Iowa State. Oklahoma just isn't what I thought they were. They let Kansas State put up 48 on them. Iowa State is a high-powered offense, and they can score, and their defense is decent too. Actually, they was talking about if Michigan did fire Jim Harbaugh, that they were going to reach out to Iowa State's head coach because he's good. But Jim Harbaugh ain't going nowhere. So I'm giving that an upset to Iowa State. Then number 8 and number 7, Utah's number 8, Oregon is number 7. Both of them are on bye weeks. Then we got number 6, Georgia versus Missouri. I'm giving that to the Dogs, Georgia. Then you got number 4, Clemson versus NC State. I got Clemson by a landslide, easy. Number 3, Ohio State versus Maryland. Ohio State by a landslide because they got Chase Young. And even if they didn't have anybody else, Chase Young can win that game by himself. Heisman candidate because he's going to be the first round pick, or he's going to be like the number 2 or something pick because he's just a freak of nature. And he scares me for Michigan playing them. But hopefully we can figure something out. Hopefully. Then the game of the week. Number 1 and number 2 versus each other. LSU versus Bama. Okay, now here's my thing with this game, right? The only reason I'm giving this game to LSU is because Tua is a game time decision, which means that's telling me that he is not prepared to come back in this to come back for this game yet. And I'm scared that if he does come back too early, he could potentially hurt himself and hurt his draft stock because he's going top 10 too if he decides to enter the draft. But LSU versus Bama, I'm giving it to LSU because LSU have beaten or LSU beat Texas on the road. They've beaten Auburn and they've beaten Florida. And all three of those teams was in the top 10 when they played them, and they beat all of them convincingly. So they have to go to Alabama to play this game, though. But I'm giving it to Joe Burrow and the boys because I just don't think without Tua they get it done. If Tua was playing, I would give it to Bama, but he's a game time decision. This is the game of the week, of course. But somebody gotta lose. But I'm giving it to LSU only for the fact that Tua is not gonna be there. But we'll see how that turns out. Then that's the top 25 for college. So getting right over into to NFL. Thursday night's game is the Chargers versus the Raiders. I'm giving it to the Chargers because Ingram came back and Joey Bosa, and they put in both of them. Yeah, those two together just made it bad for whoever they was playing this past week. They made it really bad, and it's hard to stop them. My shout out to my boys. My Ravens gave the Patriots their first loss. And I told y'all the Ravens was going, because Lamar Jackson is just different. It's too hard to contain him. You can't do nothing with the guy. You just can't. And our defense is stout. And we had some starters come back too listen, the Ravens I'm telling y'all, be careful. The Ravens is a dark horse. I'm telling y'all right now, the Ravens are a dark horse. We just beat the best team in the league. 8-0 Patriots. We beat them. But the Ravens play the Bengals. The Ravens play the Bengals. The Bengals are 8-0. I got the Ravens winning that. Then we got the Lions versus the Bears. I'm giving it to the Lions because the Bears just aren't convincing anymore. Then we have the Bills versus the Browns. Okay, I don't know what's wrong with the Browns, and I'm still trying to figure out who's going to get traded first, Odell or Baker Mayfield, because it's just too much ego on that team, man. Odell and what's his name, Landry, they got in trouble for cleats at half, and they told if they came back out with the cleats that they had on that they was going to be benched and they couldn't play for the rest of the game. So they had to change their cleats. Baker Mayfield came into the building with a full beard like this. Then he comes back out halftime with the handlebars, and then when they went, he shaved again after the game, and he had the little porn mustache. You know what I mean? Like, he was more worried about his mustache than he was worrying about winning the game. I don't know what's wrong with the Browns, but Odell or Baker Mayfield, one of those two will be traded. Mark my words. I'm giving it to the Bills because I have no idea what's going on with the Browns. They just imploded. Then I'm going Chiefs versus the Titans. Tyreek Hill and Moore seems to have some type of connection, and the Chiefs don't seem like they're going to be losing, even with Patrick Mahomes out, and I think he may be coming back. So I'm giving it to the Chiefs. Falcons Saints, Drew Brees is back. The Falcons are trash. I don't know what happened to them. Sanu, they just gave Sanu to the Patriots like that was one of their top receivers. I don't know what's going on with them either. The Saints take that. Then you got the Giants versus the Jets. The Giants is going to win. They're the better team. I think the Jets is the second worst team in the league. Cardinals versus the Bucks. The Bucks have been surprising me. They almost went to Seattle and beat Russell Wilson and them. And they're just better than the Cardinals. So I'm going Bucks on that one. Dolphins versus the Colts. I told y'all the Dolphins was going to get their first win last week, and that's exactly what they did. But I don't think that it happens this week against the Colts, even if Jacoby Brissett ain't back. So I'm giving that one to the Colts. Panthers versus the Packers. Packers got smashed, and the Panthers smashed whoever they played last week. But they're in Green Bay, so I'm giving it to the Packers. Aaron Rodgers and the boys don't lose too much in Lambeau, so Packers got that one, I think. Rams versus Steelers. I'm picking the Rams because I hate the Steelers. No other reason. Vikings versus the Cowboys. I'm picking the Vikings because they're the better team, and I hate the Cowboys. Then Monday night game is Seahawks versus the 49ers. It's a tough game, but the Seahawks have to go to San Fran, and the Niners are 8-0, I believe. I'm going to give it to the Niners. Because they seem to be one of the best all-around teams together. So I'm going to give it to them, the 49ers. So that was Sports Talk, baby. That was Sports Talk. Moving on straight into, you already know what it is. Time to get a little tipsy and watch the rest of this fourth quarter. You heard me? So I don't know if I introduced this. This is Cheers. I don't know if I introduced this wine yet, but it's one of my favorite wines. My best friend, Janine, actually told me about it, And then I got other people hooked onto it. I think a lot of women like it because it's sweet. I would have never tried it on my own if she didn't tell me about it. I overlooked it a million times, but it's really, really good to just chill. And if you drink enough of it, it'll get you right. I'm not sure that's what you're going for, but it'll get you right. Trust me when I tell you that. This is Reggae Red. It's great, man. It's great. I'm gonna take a sip of this right now. It's a nice, smooth, sweet wine, and again, it gets the job done in more than one fashion. You heard? Like it's smooth. It's not harsh. You know what I mean? And it'll get you lit up. So I'm gonna take a drink. Hit you back there, and yeah, make sure y'all go get this. Try it. I think it's only like $7, $7 or $8, depending on where you get it from. But it's nice. It's nice and calming. It'll relax you. And yeah, that's my drink for this week. I'm probably gonna finish this bottle tonight. Maybe not. But that's cheers, you know. So with that being cheers, I'm gonna continue to drink this, and then I'm gonna move on to my new segment, which is Cinema Sit Down. Okay, so I was supposed to go see Gemini Man tonight, but the latest movie that they had was, actually they only had one showing for the theater that I go to, and it was at 7:45, and on Monday it's too late for me to go at 7:45 because I record and stuff, and football and stuff is on, so I didn't go. But I did watch a movie called Rattlesnake on Netflix. Now, Rattlesnake is a little weird. You have to pay attention, and I'm not going to tell you what it's about. I'm just going to say a mom is taking a road trip. Her car breaks down, and then her daughter ends up getting bit by a rattlesnake. If I tell you any more, it's going to give the movie away. So it sounds stupid, but it's interesting. I won't say it's really good. It's interesting. And you just have to watch it and give your take on it. You know what I mean? You just watch it and tell me what you think about it. You know what I mean? So that's Cinema Sit Down. I had to make it short. This joint is already at 45 minutes. I'm gonna have to cut this so it's short. But thank you guys. Thank you for all of your time. Again, this is episode number 10. This is Slow Down. And I'll see you guys on the next go round, man. And remember, whatever you do, before you do it, just take a step back, ask yourself, is the risk worth the reward? And also, remember, God does not call the qualified. God does not call the qualified. God qualifies the cause. I'll see y'all next week, guys. Let's get it.